everybody was bullish commodities and open interest was going down, and the Bitcoin is going down, but open interest is going up. I'm like, well, that's not going to last. And Bitcoin bounced and commodities went down. Now the point is, we've had that bounce. We've bounced 100% from the lows, and now everybody's bullish, and the fundamentals might be tilting the other way. I look at it as okay, buy low, sell high. But as far as that, the key thing I think of the smart people doing, Alex, you're involved in this, is probably buying dips, adding longs in Bitcoin, and selling everything else. I mean, look what happened on Friday. We saw that little move in Bitcoin, and then we lifted some of those shorts and some of those positions in the alts. I see this as the IRS is coming after you.
Bitcoin's recent price consolidation above $30,000 seems to be taking the shape of a technical analysis pattern called a bull flag, a pattern that indicates a further rally is likely to be on the cards. According to technical analysis theory, once an asset has broken through the flag, it tends to rally an amount roughly equal to the length of the pole. A breakout is confirmed once the upper end of the flag is breached. In Bitcoin's case, the move higher from the June 15 low of $24,770 to the June 23 high of $31,441 represents the pole, while the subsequent consolidation represents the flag. A potential BTC breakout from the flag would shift focus to the next resistance at $35,900, according to Fairlead. Analysts like Mike McGlone, however, project that while he is bullish on Bitcoin in the long term, he doesn't believe that Bitcoin would be able to rally to $40,000 levels or even sustain such levels in the short term, especially during a recession. He believes that with the recession on the horizon, Bitcoin would suffer a great downtrend, even getting as low as $20,000. Let us now get into the video to understand why Mike would make such a strong statement, irrespective of the available data pointing strongly towards a Bitcoin rally.
Bitcoin right now is basically 2 times the annual volatility of Bitcoin is basically 2 times that of the NASDAQ. When it first reached the current ratio versus the NASDAQ, about 4 and change or so, that was 6 years ago, and it was 8 times, almost 9 times the volatility. So here's what's happening. Bitcoin is mainstream. Yes, now finally we're going to be able to push a button, and there'll be less leverage going in. Your long-term accumulation people going and buying in. I do fully expect it's going to get to 100,000 eventually, but ask yourself this: is this going to happen with the tide going out in the equity market, which I expect? Been wrong. Alex, you're right. I've been wrong, but you got to be careful pointing out your views, your long Bitcoin based on what happened to Bitcoin, what's going to happen to it now. I'm pointing out the facts is it's going into the mainstream fastly. It's squashing the volatility. Remember the spreads we saw? What's the last big vestige of that is GBTC. I fully still am bullish GBTC because it's going to narrow that spread. But what's happening is all that cash and carry that was in futures, that was seeing people saying, oh, you didn't get a good leverage, and it's still way too expensive to trade in futures. It's getting squashed fast. This ETF is going to just bring it more in the mainstream. And yes, maybe I fully agree with all the big picture stuff that I've been writing about for years, the digital version of gold. Yeah, get all that stuff. We got to stop saying that because we're long. Let's focus on the more immediate. What's the issue here is we are heading towards a recession. Yes, right. Been hearing it for long. I get it. Been wrong. But what's happening since it hasn't happened? The Fed's tightening more. We have to expect the yield curve not to matter. You look at Fed funds versus 30-year, it's the steepest, and the probability of recession from the New York Fed is the highest since 1982. Yes, maybe that stuff doesn't matter. Good luck with that one. But if you ask David Rosenberg, he said the one indication he always watches if he was on a desert island, the only thing he'd care about was the yield curve. It's the thing lesson I learned trading treasuries in the 80s. Just never fade the yield curve. So here's the key thing I want to ask you is,
well, it's at historic lows here.
Exactly.
Sub 1%.
So,
yeah.
But why is that? Because of recessions, it's the lose-lose. Because it hasn't happened as fast as some of us thought. They kept the tightening. If the stock market was flat in the year, do you think the Fed would still be tightening? Probably not, but it's not. So that's the lose-lose. They're just going to keep doing it. So here's a question I want to end with. I completely agree with that. I'm bullish Bitcoin long-term. I think it's going higher, but I think it's more likely to sustain and maybe print below 20 than sustain above 40 if I'm right about the equity market going down and our whole economics team is right. The key question I want to ask is, so it's the same ratio right now at about 4.7 versus the NASDAQ. Yeah, it's 2, just double the NASDAQ. And it first traded at 2017. And if you look at it, only is popped up big when we had that massive pump in liquidity, and it's come back down. Now we're stuck here. Volatility is declining. It's coming in the mainstream. So I needed to outperform the NASDAQ, and so far it's kind of on a 7-year basis. If you had bought the NASDAQ 7 years ago, you're doing the same thing. And the thing is, the difference about being long the Nasdaq, you got AI going for you, and you got the Fed going for you. Because if the Nasdaq goes down, typically the Fed will help you. If Bitcoin goes down, the Fed doesn't care. I had a brother who wasn't paying his taxes. They went to his account and cleared it out. You think there's people in cryptos all paying their taxes? I mean, Kraken was crap. They're going down to Kraken today. I think that's what's going to happen. We're going to find out that a lot of the people who weren't paying taxes, all that information is going to be coming out. It's just logical. I mean, I've seen it so much when you can kind of get away with it for a short term and greed comes in there. So then I look at this 25,000 of them. That's massive purging, still way overdue in the broad space. Bitcoin's going to come out ahead, but the whole thing might go lower, just Bitcoin going less. It's just the key thing you have to ask yourselves. If I'm long cryptos and long Bitcoin now, what's my position? What's my view on the stock market for the second half? If you're bearish the stock market and you expect that divergence, yeah, good luck. Maybe, hopefully that'll happen. I've been hoping and waiting for that forever. And I still see, man, it's still trading like leveraged stock market. And that's the way I look at it, except the rest of the space is trading like more sellers on every rally.
With Bitcoin surpassing the $31,000 mark and maintaining its position above $30,000, cryptocurrency traders and investors are eagerly observing whether the primary digital asset can sustain its upward trajectory and potentially set its sights on $40,000. The recent surge in the number of spot Bitcoin exchange-traded funds, ETFs, filings, and the growing interest from major institutions has significantly influenced investor sentiment toward the cryptocurrency in recent weeks. Amidst the uncertainty surrounding Bitcoin's future movement in the upcoming weeks, Finbold sought insights from Price Predictions, a platform renowned for its employment of advanced machine learning algorithms. These algorithms closely assess the dynamic market conditions and analyze pertinent indicators to gauge the probability of Bitcoin's continued success by the end of July. Intriguingly, the algorithms project that BTC will climb to $33,329 by the end of the month, representing a 7% increase from the current price of the asset at the time of publication. Over the past year, Bitcoin has experienced an impressive surge, witnessing a substantial 59% increase in price. This growth means BTC has outperformed 84% of the top 100 crypto assets. Furthermore, the flagship digital asset is currently trading above the 200-day simple moving average, suggesting a positive trend that has caught the attention of seasoned investors. As it continues to maintain a strong market position, Bitcoin finds itself trading near its cycle high, further solidifying its standing as a cryptocurrency to watch closely in the fast-paced and ever-changing crypto landscape, with 17 green days in the last 30 days. As things stand, BTC is changing hands at $31,022, up 1.22% on the day. Renowned crypto trading expert Michael Van de Poppy shared his insights on July 4 regarding the current state of Bitcoin. According to Van de Poppy, he noted that the true acceleration for Bitcoin would take place once it surpasses the $32,500 mark. Until that point, he believes that the progress of Bitcoin would be characterized by a gradual and steady grind. Bernstein analysts, led by Gautam Chugani, said the SEC is likely to soon approve a U.S. spot Bitcoin ETF, according to a report seen by CoinDesk. However, the researchers noted the SEC has already approved futures-based Bitcoin ETFs, as well as leverage-based futures ETFs, due to futures pricing coming from a regulated exchange like the CME. The SEC is worried that a spot Bitcoin ETF would not be dependable because the spot exchanges, for example, Coinbase, are not under its regulation, and thus spot prices are not reliable and prone to manipulation. Last week, the Wall Street Journal reported the SEC believed the recent flurry of spot Bitcoin ETF bids were inadequate, prompting some of the world's largest asset managers, including BlackRock and Fidelity, to refile the applications after adding they would enter into surveillance sharing agreements with Coinbase. Coinbase stock has rocketed 10% on the news, taking its year-to-date gains to over 130%. All signals point to a Bitcoin rally, but McGlone thinks otherwise. Who would be right at the end? What do you think of McGlone's bold stance on Bitcoin price prediction? Let us know in the comment section below. Also hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching.